Good evening, everyone out in Super League land. Fifey is here later than usual, but as explained, it's not every day I get invited to the pub to watch the football, so I took the opportunity with both hands, and I think we can all agree Newcastle were very, very, very unlucky, and some might even suggest they were robbed because Man United were fucking dreadful and did not deserve a single thing out of that game. I was meant to be joined tonight by Jamie. Fortunately, he's had to pull out at the last minute. No health-related issues or family issues that I'm aware of. I just think it ended up being a bit late for him. So hopefully we'll get Jamie on again later in the season. Hopefully not too late, because I know how everyone likes to hear his lovely vocal tones and orgasmic accent nice and early in the season. But it looks like I'm flying solo again tonight, so hopefully hopefully it'll be entertaining. It's the first time I've ever done a Super League show having consumed any units of alcohol. It wasn't too many though, so hopefully it won't be a complete farce. I have no particular running order, as there's no co-commentator, other than I have noticed that Dan has asked to be on late, so we will do Sloss v Leddersford towards the end. For those who joined nice and early, I did have a quick look through the results from game week 1, which basically left us with Dudley Hill top of the table on goal difference and Haggis Hunters rock bottom. But nobody really cares because it's only one game in. So, off to bed then, lads. Sorry, Rob, but Dan did get in first asking for late before you got in asking for early. Let's get the action underway, as you've all waited long enough. Tato's been waiting since the 23rd of December for a game that was never going to happen. And you've all waited very patiently for me to get back from the pub. So let's get going and see what the computer wants us to do. And we're going to start with Hodgy's Devils against Haggis Hunters. As you can see, Emerson suspended is the only absentee for Hodgy. He has made one change with Oya coming into the midfield to replace him. Everyone else is unchanged. Last time out, they got the very good 3-1 win over Locomotive Boston, despite having 10 men for just over 20 minutes. It was a fairly even game, but the Devils laying down an early marker, which I know would have been important to Hodgy after the slow start they made last year. The likes of Ayala making it to the bench this time. Okay, Rob, I'll try and remember that when it comes to your game. The likes of Ayala making the matchday squad this time around for the Devils. As for Haggis, slight tweak of their formation. See Shevchenko playing up front as part of a 2. Danielson in behind. Torres only getting a place on the bench, as does Stephen Reed. Helguera, who was very, very good for the most part of last season, playing in holding midfield as well. Obviously, a lot made of the transfer dealings, and even more would have been made after the result last time round. But I use but figuratively and factually, if it wasn't for the goalkeeper, could it maybe have been a different result? I mean, you just look at those ratings there, and the two goalkeepers had completely different games in what was a very even match. So it was certainly a battle of the goalkeepers. Let's kick off game 1. If we can have some predictions in the chat, please, guys. That's very kind of you, Smuts. I'm happy to go solo. We've started, we can fly through this one. By the time I've set up a link and got you in and stuff, it'll just delay things longer. And I know these guys are at the point of fucking knocking one out themselves if they don't get some Super League action quickly. So thank you very much, mate. I am very much looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, however, where we can have a full debrief of all things Super League and everything else. Predictions coming in: Mike Savage first with 2-2, Taylor Mourinho 3-0, Duggan 2-1, Jens 2-0. A lot backing the Devils. Let's kick off and see what happens. Ferguson getting a very early yellow card. Excuse me. But it does look very Devils dominated first half an hour. Referee refusing to give a penalty there, and it's Haggis on the 30-minute mark who take the lead through Louis Saha. Very much seen against the run of play, and wow, Emil Mpenza picking up an injury, not what Hodgy will have wanted to see. I will prepare Kesman in advance of getting the okay. Mpenza has had some injury problems, particularly since Hodgy's taken over, probably more so since Hodgy's taken over. So he'll be hoping not to see a Steve Finnan-esque 3 months absence from this. Just waiting for the okay from Hodgy to proceed with Kesman. And there is the yes I was looking for. So 10 minutes to go until half time. Haggis 1-0 up. And the big man Mpenza off injured. And since the goal, Haggis certainly seemed to, at least text-wise, from my perspective, come back into it. Can Devils get an equaliser before half-time? No is the answer to that question. And just the one chance, despite all that text, not a typical Hodgy performance, especially at home from the Devils there. Haggis, again, I'm surprised. The text didn't seem to suggest, particularly in terms of attempts, they were that dominant. I don't know if anyone else took a different reading. Let's have a look at the home side first. And Penza's fitness 49 for those of you who read a lot into that when it comes to injuries. Very average performance, or you're not really getting involved in terms of passes. Fairly consistent numbers throughout, but not to the usual expected levels. It was a very interesting discussion I saw online earlier. I was late to the party reading it regarding whether Devils had regressed last season, and seeing Hodgy's perspective on it was very interesting. Let's have a look at Haggis' perspective and Shevchenko there, moving further forward, getting more involved. Jeremy's doing what Jeremy's does, and Ashley Cole as well, putting in a solid first half performance. Hodgy going Q for Barry. So there is that change made. I will confirm that, but if you just let me know if you want to swap with Amar as well, or if you're happy Kuhl playing centre midfield while I just wait. Ian is going same as, so I'll just wait for Hodgy's clarification. I don't think he'll swap them round because he likes Amar playing behind, but just in case, I'll give him 30 seconds or so. Alf already receiving a lot of credit for this result. It is only half time, and we have seen already this season what the Devils are capable of. Let's kick off the second half as is. Thank you, Hodgy. So let's see if Harry Kuhl can make an impact that is required. And it's 2-0, and it's Louis Saha again. But Harry Kuhl, no, it's been ruled as offside, and Kuhl's also received a yellow card. And the ref and Haggis have a penalty turned down, and possibly another one there. 15 minutes to go now, and Haggis certainly not taking the foot off the gas. And now it's a red card for Soroczynski. I imagine Hodgy will say go as is, as they've still got the bank of 4 there. But this is the complete opposite of what most were expecting from Devils. Haggis have been superb. A brilliant away performance, it would appear. And this red card just summing up the Devils' performance. Really quick look at the stats. Yeah, it's still not a great deal happening, but Haggis definitely the superior in terms of those numbers. Alf's still getting the credit I can see there from Rob, coming into injury time now. And it's 3-0 and Saha has a hat-trick. And, well, nobody gave Haggis a sniff in the pre-match predictions in the chat, but it has finished 3-0. Louis Saha with the damage. They were very much the dominant side stats-wise. And yes, Alf's at the wheel, and can't wait for Alf and Ian's post-match video as well. Quick look. Despite conceding 3, it's interesting Seb Frey getting an 8 rating. There's a few 8 ratings there, particularly from the defensive players, which surprises me. Considering they conceded 3 goals. Harry Kewell not really making the impact. He did have a goal disallowed. A few yellow cards handed out there as well. A quick look at the away side. No surprise to see Louis Saha picking up man of the match. Yap Stam getting a 9. Yeremy's maintained his 9. Shevchenko getting a 9. When you consider how poor Haggis were, and they received a lot of criticism after game week 1, this is like chalk and cheese to that performance. Just having a quick flick through your comments here. Very impressed with that. Ian says Tato. Yeah, I think most people will be. Yeah, Jens Saha, can't understand why he plays. And Ian saying hard lines. So congratulations to Haggis, commiserations to Hodgy and the Devils. The Soroczynski red card will obviously see him suspended for the next game, and we wait news on Mpenza's injury. We don't want to do Sloss Ledisford, so let's just go to the next team up on the list, which means we do Halls versus Fulchester. Halls, who signed Mark Viduka on loan since the last game week, he comes in on the bench. And this is the team. Hersey is available after playing in the Olympics. He comes into the team as well. I think Jens was a lot happier with the availability of players for this game. And I do believe, looking at this 1 to 11, it is, I mean, Halls have always had a strong team 1 to 11. On paper, this does look very strong indeed. Last time out, as we know, they got a 1-1 draw with Gazelles, where arguably they were the better team there as well. So Jens will be looking to build on that. No place for Ricardinho in the team. Tato saying that aside from Panucci, that 11 looks brilliant. But yes, no place for Ricardinho, Liverani as well, another relatively big name player not to be included. Cure Panucci breath. Yes, very reminiscent of when oh, why can't I think of what his name is? The guy who played right back for Sloths. Everyone was like, why have they signed him? And he went and got a hat-trick on his debut. Viduka going to wear number 40. And now we look at Fulchester. I very much enjoyed reading the Team Fulchester chat pre-game, where internet was very much an issue for both manager and I'm not sure if we're calling assistant or special advisor, but several messages later we decided to go as was from the last game. So this is the team that Fulchester put out last time. They did beat 10-man Churchtown 2-1 with a late David Beckham goal. Big money signing Djibril Cisse remains on the bench. The 12 million spent on him, with Michael Owen leading the line, Nedved and Ronaldo in support. A lot of what they do seems to be centred around Veron, but Nicky Butt and Bishkan, as has been proven over the last couple of seasons, are very, very good Fulchester players. Let's have some predictions before we kick off game number 2. Halls versus Fulchester. First in for this one is, while I wait for the first one to come in, just seeing Scott's comments coming through. Panucci's a solid right wing back. Congratulations, his good friend. 1-1, 2-2, and the first victory prediction is by Rob of the Sloths, going 1-0 to the Hooks. So we presume that he means Halls. Jens saying that Nedved will score a 90th minute winner for Fulchester. 10 minutes went by with next to nothing happening. First bit of text was Halls, and then Fulchester came into it. I've seen Hersey's name there. Fairly even opening, sort of 20-25 minutes. More draws being predicted coming through in the chat as well. I would say the text is suggesting to me Halls are slightly edging it. but obviously we know that means next to nothing. But Vogel from distance on 42 minutes has given the home side the lead, and Fulchester were not able to respond. Yes, 5 shots again created by Halls, only 1 from Fulchester, not what Ryan or Macca would have been expecting, almost certainly. So Halls with a deserved lead at half time, and those ratings much more what Jens will be expecting. Including Milewski there, rating a 9 at half time. Wiped that. Sorry, Ryan, I don't understand unless I've missed something else in the chat. Yes, got strong 11 Halls have assembled. Yeah, okay, that makes much more sense. Yeah, shite that indeed. Not a typical Fulchester performance, certainly not a typical Bolton Phoenix performance. So I'm sure neither yourself nor Macca are particularly pleased. Let's have a look at what Fulchester have done. Ryan Giggs, very, very quiet in terms of his output. Just having a flick through. Jens going as is. I've not seen, I don't think, Macca in the chat, Ryan. So if you want to suggest any halftime substitutions at all, just wait for Ryan to confirm. Oh, is Mac about? No, as I say, I've not seen him in the chat. So if you want to take any lead and charge on this one, I'm sure he did say during the Man United Newcastle game that he'd already been having a few, so he might not make this particular broadcast. While we just wait for Ryan to confirm, hope you all had a great Christmas and Boxing Day. I know Ian was doing a thread earlier about some of the presents he received. So let's have it in the chat as well. Best and worst, without wishing to come across as ungrateful. Best and worst presents received this year by everybody. Let's see exactly what us 30-plus-year-olds, bordering on 40-year-olds in some cases, and older, with respect to the likes of Alf, are getting for Christmas. Ian, the game's moved on since you won it right. Your style's out of date. Evening, Mr. Edwards, who has joined us. You've only missed one game so far, pal, and that was Haggis destroying the Devils, really. 3-0. Cisse on for Owen and switch with R9. So we're going like that and like that. Okay, let's kick off the second half and see if Halls can maintain this or if the substitution works out for Fulchester. We've already reached the hour mark with very little incident, but Hall's coming forward again. Let's just slow it down a little bit to see what happens in the last 20 minutes. And Alf saying an Xmas card to me as a nephew when he's not the person's nephew. Sensational. Brozak with a chance though, but he puts it over the bar. Milewski to Ram, still Milewski. Free kick to Halls, which Vogel sends in, and Crespo. Or Yepes gets in the way. We're into the final 10 minutes now. Still not much sign of Fulchester getting an equaliser. If anything, I would say Halls look more likely. As I say, that Fulchester have a set piece, but they weren't able to do anything with it. The dodgy wine has affected them. Move into injury time. No action at all in injury time. So Halls remain unbeaten from 2 games and an impressive performance against one of the title favourites. Fulchester simply not at the races tonight by their exceptionally high standards. Sol Campbell rating a 9, as is standard for them. Or for him, I should say. Milewski maintained his rating, as we know, Vogel with the winner as well. When we look at Fulchester, it wasn't an awful performance individually. It just Halls were very, very good tonight and are completely nullified Fulchester. So that's two results that perhaps didn't necessarily go the way people were expecting already tonight. So after the drama or the excitement of the game earlier, the Super League is following suit by being as unpredictable as ever. Game number 3 sees Churchtown entertain the Dragons. This is Churchtown week 2. And their formation, we noted that Tomasi is suspended for this one. as the only absentee. When I saw the team and I was putting it together, I was interested in Petrov playing in the AM role. We said, or I said, I should say, in game week 1, I'm looking forward to seeing that there's just a few new names starting to appear as the game gets a couple of seasons in. So Luke Chadwick playing on the wing is an interesting one to see how he's developed during the reserves and what sort of impact he can have. Just the 1 sub Super League appearance. Oh no, sorry, he had 4 during the very first season as well. But he's now very much in the first team plans. Churchtown last time out, they were very unlucky. From what I remember, they were very unlucky against Fulchester. Despite the stats suggesting Fulchester dominated, it was a late David Beckham goal that in the end won it for them. Oliver Kahn impressed on his debut. In what was it wasn't a terrible performance, but I know Dimble will be hoping for a lot more tonight against Dragons. Tato, why did Chadwick ever get dropped? You would have to go back to the previous manager to find out why that happened. Van Bommel in centre midfield should do a very good job, and it's just whether Mild and Davis have enough to counteract the absence of Tomasi. Let's have a look at what the Dragons have come up with. In terms of availability, they have their full squad available again. And from last time out, where they narrowly lost to Bostock again in injury time, in what was a fairly even game, they just didn't have their shooting boots on. The only change sees David's return to the starting 11. Now that he's available again in place of Saeed, who drops to the bench. Everyone else remains the same. Let's have your predictions in for this game then. Will Davids have a significant impact? We know that obviously Jamie was due to be featuring tonight and Smuts is about as well. So good luck to both managers. David's being given the captain's armband. While I wait for the first prediction, I'll just have a quick drink. Mike Savage in first with a 2-2. Oh, speaking of which, I meant to do it in the intro. On the day that one of the most recognisable names in the world, Desmond Tutu, passes away, it would be some poetic justice and a fitting tribute if at least one game tonight was to end 2-2. So I have now noticed the amount of 2-2 predictions going in. We send our commiserations to everyone affected by the news today. Let's kick this one off and see what we have. And Churchtown, and it is Petrov who scores early. And, well, Archie Back got injured during the Churchtown celebrations. So Smuts, if you confirm, I imagine it'll be Zidane coming on for Back. But if you could just confirm, please, sir. But Churchtown did take the early lead. It was the man who I said I was surprised was playing so far forward who got the goal. So Dimble clearly showing why he's a manager in the most elite CM online content, and I'm just the admin guy now because he's far superior knowledge. Thought the Zoom camera was coming on. ZZ in Cole to AMC. So we are going like that. And like that. Thank you very much, Mr. Smuts. Who, again, we have to say congratulations. I know you all know anyway. When we did game week 1, it was, I believe it was the eve of baby Smuts due to be born. And now we're what, a week? He's now been with us for a good week. So I'm sure Mr. Smuts is very, very tired. But congratulations to he and Mrs. Smuts on their new arrival. Approaching the half-hour mark, seeing a bit more Dragons text now, but still Churchtown maintain the lead. Seeing Zidane's name, and there is the half-time whistle. Churchtown shading it in terms of dominance. A proper Super League baby. Churchtown shading it stats-wise, but not a massive first half performance from either side. Matthew Breeze refereeing on a gusty day in Brisbane. Look at the home side first, and they're doing what they need to do. I mean, I picked out Chadwick. He's rating a 7 for. He's had very little to do, but what he has done, he's done well. It's been solid without being exceptional from Churchtown. A phrase or a paraphrase that is very much synonymous with a lot of Dimble-based performances, but he is certainly a man that knows how to grind out results without necessarily excelling for most of a game. He is going as is. We have a look at the away side, who have some catching up to do. Very much the same, but 6s instead of 7s, and I think that's the difference between the two sides. Let's see if Smuts wants to make any additional changes at this juncture before we kick off the second half. Nice use of dead air there, having no co-coms on to discuss anything with in the meantime. Again, I saw Alex comment. Any other Christmas presents, good, bad, the ugly, that you want to share with the group? Very much appreciate it to keep me occupied during these waiting for managers and assistants to decide what subs they want to make. Still seeing nothing coming through from Mr. Smuts. I'll give him 30 more seconds and then I will just kick off the second half. There we go. And it's come through now, leave as is. So we will kick off the second half and see what happened. Dragons seem to have started the second half the quickest. Can they make the pressure count? Churchtown now on the counter and looking to double their advantage as we move past the hour mark towards 70 minute. 10 minutes flew by there with very little happening, so we'll slow it down. Alf, 1956, I got an orange. I really enjoyed that. And we've moved into the final 10 minutes, still Churchtown with the lead. I definitely feel there's another goal in this game, but it's which way is it going to go? Churchtown coming forward again with a set piece, and there's Palermo. Agahau was offside. 3 minutes of injury time. Can Dragons nick a late equaliser? No, again, no action of incident in injury time. So Churchtown win 1-0. Statistically, they were the better side in terms of attempts. A few ratings managed to improve from what we were looking at half-time. And in particular, the match winner Petrov, they're rating an 8. Yet man of the match award has gone to the losing side as Brett Emerton picks up for his performance. Just looking down there again, I just think it's the 6s and crucially from the Dragons, you look at players like Balmer and Davids and Cliver, three of their probably higher rated, higher expectation players, just not putting in the level of performance that is expected of them. So still a lot of work to be done at Dragons, who are still looking to bolster their ranks through loan signings, etc. As we move through the game weeks. So there's still more work to be done there, but congratulations indeed to Dimble and Churchtown. And we move on to Bostock Stanley versus Astor Athletic. Astor, who last time out drew 0-0 with Sloths. If I remember correctly, was it 3 goals they had disallowed? Or was it possibly even 4 or 3 in a penalty? They were they were arguably the most unfortunate side in Super League history. They have the players who are missing because the Olympics now available, and it sees this formation come into play. 3 DMs in front of 2 centre backs, and critically 3 up top. And as 3 up tops go, Rossini, Roberts, and Henry is certainly not a bad unit, but can they perform? There is a big empty space behind them, though. So will the creation be there for them? Let's have a look at what Bostock have come up with. Scott was struggling to get his team in, so he went unchanged bar 1, where Live has come back into the defence. And they've also, since the last game week, signed Lee Young Pyo on loan from Leddersford, dropping Roque Jr. to the reserves. So as a favour to Scott, because I'm a nice guy, because Roque Jr. was sub number 4 for the last game, instead of making him go with 3 subs by not naming a 4th, I have put the man that replaced Roque Jr. on the bench. Again, another team playing 3 up front, so we could be expecting goals. We perhaps should be expecting goals from this game. But I do think perhaps what's happening from midfield backwards perhaps looks a little bit more structured from a Bostock perspective, especially with the Gonzalez arrow. So could their creation be slightly more, especially being the home side as well? Let's see who is first in with a prediction. And it is Tato saying 2-0 Bostock, as we assign Lee Young Pyo a squad number. Let's kick this game off. And Astor going straight at it to try and get an early goal. Jens saying 3-2 as well. 1-1 from Alf. And Zé Roberto heavily involved. Bowyer scores at the 3rd attempt, but it's disallowed for offside. I'm too nice, Ian. I won't let someone go without because of an oversight. Astor do take the lead through Salihamidzic, but another player seems to have got injured during the celebrations. And it is the man that everyone's been waiting to see get his chance in the Super League, Emerson. No, not that one. On his debut for Astor, having signed during the auction, he lasted basically the first half before picking up an injury. I know Tato's around, so we'll just give him a minute to decide who he wants to make as the substitution, and then we'll kick off, get the halftime whistle, and do a proper review. And it is Vashuk coming on. Let's just get to halftime. And there is the halftime whistle. Astor do lead. They've created more. They've had more on target. Completed more passes, 1 more tackles, 1 more headers. Seem to be dominating, really. Let's have a look at the home side and see what Scott wants to do to change this. Bowyer did have the early goal disallowed. He's rating an A. He's the pick of the bunch. When you look at the 3 strikers, none really having a lot of the ball. You see there, Nelka with just the 5 passes, Keane and Saviola 9 apiece. He'll be expecting a lot more from his attacking trio. While we wait for news from them, let's have a look at Astor. Evening Macca, who's logged in to say fucking bollocks, and I'm sure he'll probably disappear again. Scott going as is, as we click over to Astor. Very impressive first half performance. Again, another very good away performance, I would say. And Big Kid suggesting a swap between Scally and Vashuk. And Tato agreeing with his assistant there. So I will confirm that and just clarify there's no additional subs to be made. Oh, Scott's changed his mind. Lee Young Pyo to come on for his debut in place of Decor. There's that substitute confirmed. And we'll just wait for clarification. There's no additional substitutions from Astor's 1 and 2. And Tato confirms good to go. So let's kick off the second half and see what difference the tactical swap and the personnel swap makes to this game. It was Bostock who started quickest, but Astor do double their lead. It's ZZ Roberts on the hour mark, and now but Anelka and another goal disallowed. And Astor are certainly feeling the benefit this time. And now Live, who's only just come back into the team, picks up an injury. And interestingly, there's no defence. I imagine Lee Young Pyo will move back. Possibly Bowyer will move back as well, with Jacques coming on. But yeah, Astor had 3 disallowed last week. They've now had 3, or their opponents have now had 2, disallowed this week. Never a dull game, it appears, we're going to have with Astor this season. I just see Jens got Astor pressuring the referees. Jacques on, yeah, so as described in advance, we are going like this. Let's see then, with 25 minutes to go, can Bostock turn this round? I have slowed it down. I wouldn't normally with 2 goals, but having already had 2 disallowed, there's certainly more potentially in this. And here they come again, and it's Anelka. Anelka going past everybody, and Anelka on his own has pulled one back. And this game certainly is not over yet. Let's see what else. And Jacques a substitute, and it's a corner which Gonzalez takes. And 15 minutes to go now, and still Bostock piling on the pressure, looking for an equaliser. And Jacques trips. And Gonzalez, not quite. Astor have an attack, and they're trying to maintain some possession. But every time they try and build something, Bostock go on the counter. And Rayed, after one read on the hard work, and another injury, and it's another big name player. Right, okay. So I believe it will be something along the lines of probably this. I'll just wait for Scott to confirm. Wow, disallowed goals, players getting injured all over the shop. Mike couldn't see an option to man mark the ref in Tic Tacs. Oh, that's tickled me in ways it probably shouldn't have done, but it has. Scott confirming that he's happy with that swap. So Gonzalez moves out wide, Keane back, and Tristan comes on as they go in hunt of this equalising goal with 10 minutes to go. This game's had so much already. Can we have some late drama as well? Johnson, Rossini, Roberts, and a body check sees them get a free kick, but Bostock managed to clear their lines. Do they have one last chance in them? Excellent tackle Bowyer, but Scally picks it up and another free kick given. 4 minutes to be added on. I think this game deserves more than 4, but that should be it. Rayed makes it 3-1. And surely now there's no way back for Bostock. Referee stopping play, spotting earlier incidents. And another game goes by without any injury time action. It finishes 3-1 to the away side. Wow. What a game. Not bad. 4 goals considering there was 7 shots on target between the 2 sides. I look forward to both managers' post-match comments after that. Wow. Was it... Someone please remind me, was it Astor who nobody backed, or only one person backed in the pre-match predictions? That Swanee does. And yes, great spot by Duggan. There was the pre-match chat. The 12-1 Haggis Hall's Astor has come in, so I hope someone took took Macca for that one. Let's have a look at the Bostock stats. Starting with the players that picked up the injuries, because I know a lot of you like to see that. Zé Roberto on a 42, and Live on a 58. Thank you for confirming, Jens. 0 people back to Astor. A couple of 8 ratings in there, largely 7s throughout. Lee Young Pyo did rate an 8 on his debut. As for the victorious away side, ZZ Roberts picking up a man of the match, rating a 9, as did Vrede on loan from Fulchester. Correct, Duggan, there has been no draws so far tonight. And again, a lot more higher rated players. The goal score, 2 of the goal scorers rating 8s, you can see there as well. So congratulations to Astor, commiserations to Bostock. But that was a very enjoyable game as a neutral to watch. A lot going on. I mean, 3 players injured, 4 goals, 2 goals disallowed. It had everything but red cards, really. And that moves us nicely on to Dudley Hill versus Gazelles. Gazelles, who have Penardi and Collins missing at the moment. They line up like this. Madeira joining Vieri up top with outside league signing Gaitan. Playing in behind, and Wellens in midfield and zone. Dede was the man of the match last time out in their 1-1 draw with Halls. Okoronkwo and Ferdinand look a very solid, at least on paper, defence, and they have the ever reliable Zales and fan favourite Alexei Smertin in front of them. As for Dudley, very impressive, sitting top of the league, as we've already alluded to. They make just the 1 change for tonight, and it sees, because of Finnan's injury, long-term injury, which will see him replaced in the first team squad very soon. Kaladze moves to left wing back, and Tudor comes into centre midfield. Everything else remains unchanged. The triangle of Del Piero, Tony and Mackay looking to cause equal amount of devastation as it did in game week 1. Not even waiting for me to ask for predictions, Tato's gone straight in with 2-0. And Jens going full stato on us. Astor have now scored as many goals as they've had disallowed this season. Any other predictions as I prepare to hit kickoff? And there's Ian Edwards with a 2-1. From what I remember, only 1 person backing Gazelles for this one as well. A lot of love for Dudley after their big opening day win. But Day does open the scoring for the away side on 16 minutes. And they've doubled their lead through Tomadera. And all those backing Dudley will be thinking that they may have got this wrong already. We have already reached halftime. That seems to have flown by. Very few chances created by either side, but very effective finishing this time round for Gazelles. Let's have a look at the home side first. Kaladze rating a 9 after his tactical change. A few 7s in there, but mostly 6s throughout. Very little to write home about from Dudley, so I'm sure Steve will be looking to freshen things up where possible for the second half. Gazelles, on the other hand, Madeira rating a 9, Dede another 8. Basically doing what he does. Vieri as well. The forward line for Gazelles certainly seem to be performing to a higher level, in my opinion. Yes, I would agree. And solid Gazelles half that. FIFA manager. Here we go. Steve coming in. Petkovic for Mackay. So the former Halls man replaces the former Devil. and and correct. 2 up top masterpiece. So far, at least, anyway. Ian saying, no offence, Steve. I predicted a Gazelles win as last game was no real indicator. My keeper had an absolute stinker. Duggan going as is. So let's kick off the second half. And we've already reached the hour with nothing happening. But Luca Toni has pulled one back to make it exciting. And then a shitload more time flew by with nothing happening. We've got 10 minutes to go already. We have managed to slow it down now. And here come Dudley again. Move into the final 10 minutes. Steve now discussing his sexual exploits, not focusing on the game. And it's Vieri and Tomadera. And it's 3-1, and surely that wraps it up for the away side. His first ever goal for the Gazelles. Great work from the triangle of Gazelles. And there's a red card. And it's Okoronkwo. Wow. I don't imagine Duggan is going to be looking to go one at the back at this stage. He'll be looking to shore it up completely. Is there enough time for Dudley to capitalise on the man advantage? Let's see what Duggan wants to do about this first. Ian congratulating Duggan on a game that's not even finished yet. Tomad off, Udesi on. Vieri, narrow, Auro off. So we're going like that. Yeah, you can take the arrow off. So we move. He's upgraded his broadband. And Del Piero hits the free kick straight into the wall. Rustico makes it 2-3. And we have one hell of a last 5 minutes here in store. Here come Gazelles. Can they get a fourth? Shot deflects off the wall, and now Dudley on the counter. Oh, Gazelles retaining possession. Injury time. Nothing's happened in any other game in injury time so far. Tony Pekovic. Oh, he couldn't direct it. Steve's head in hands. And there is the final whistle. Gazelles hold out. And Steve will be looking at that, wondering how they've not got a draw. Every shot on target Gazelles took has hit the back of the net. The goalkeeper's had a poor game after Haggis's keeper had a poor game in game week 1 against Dudley. This time it's the Dudley keeper who's been poor. Kaladze maintained his high standards. Dudley remained in the game, came back into it twice, but couldn't force an equaliser. As for the Gazelles, let's have a quick look at them. The losing of the man didn't make too much of a difference. Madeira picking up man of the match for his 9 rated performance. And quite a few 8s littered throughout as well. Again, the importance of goalkeepers not putting in poor games is being evident here today. But congratulations to Gazelles, commiserations to Dudley, who were top at Christmas, but now it would seem unlikely will be top at New Year. No, we want to leave Leddersford, so we are going to our penultimate game of the evening. That seems to have flown by. Apologies if I have done this show far too quickly for you guys. I didn't realise we were already on the penultimate game, but we have Northern Bern versus Locomotive Boston. Northern Bern, another side still looking to improve their squad where possible, if you can improve this squad and make up a full team. They had what was considered a statement victory, considering they were missing arguably their 2 most influential players. They went and beat Leddersford, who did have 10 men, but they were already losing when the red card came in. But the main men return, so Sagalko returns up top. Robin is back in the team as well. Youngberg and Keane play in front of Vieira in what is a very, very scary looking midfield. for the defending champions. Hasselbank has a place on the bench, as does Martin Morgan, who didn't feature a great deal last season, just the one appearance. He's now on the bench for this game as well. Jens already saying 3-1 without even seeing the Loco side. Loco are missing Taneto, which is a big loss for them. Had a big impact last year. Played virtually, I think that works out to all but one game that they played, perhaps. So he's missing for this game. And that sees them line up as such. Very similar setup to the Northern Bern team, and that is identified by the fact that this tactic is, well, kind of referred to as plagiarism in the title. Donati and Seedorf in the midfield, Figo and Brugink supporting Montella. At this rate, Steve, you'll finish just before England cricket are all out. I figured the Ashes were already over, if I'm honest, Alf, because England seem to only be able to last a couple of hours per test match. Since Greavy's not here, I'll say 0-0. So here we go, penultimate game of the evening, Northern Bern versus Locomotive. And Bern take the lead. It is Robin, he's not hanging about, and Hoffland makes it 2. So but Brugink on his debut has made it 2-1. What's going carnage? Goals flying in all over the shop. It looked like Bern were going to run away with it, but all of a sudden it's not the case. And Boston looking to make it 2-2 before half time. Bern also looking for a third goal themselves. Well, a pulsating first half, which seems to have flown by far too quickly. It's one of those games where you wish you just had the commentary speed on fast instead of very fast. Both sides creating chances, both sides scoring goals. Northern Bern have the lead, and this is how they rate. Ian, not really one for, as is well documented, not really one for making halftime changes. So I'll expect him to say as is. It looked, or it does look, a good performance from Bern, and the first 20 minutes it looked an exceptional performance from Bern. But Loco is certainly not out of it yet. Is Greasy still about, or did he go to bed? I think he may have already gone. Ian confirming as is. Barthez, again, spoken a couple of times already tonight about goalkeepers. Barthez is not one renowned for picking up fives. But there he is at halftime for 5, and Montella at the other end, also rating 5. Potato saying Boston don't start playing until getting week 15. Yeah, he likes to give everyone very much a nice head start just to prove his dominance. Doug, yeah, I know, mate. I know. I was really enjoying the first half. It was over far too quickly. Literally went to get a drink and it's 2-1 at half time. I know. It's unbelievable. I can't see. I'm just scrolling back through to see when the last comment was, but no, there isn't anything. So we're going to go as is and kick off the second half. And is there more in this? Just past the hour mark, and Loco certainly seem to still be very much involved in this. Can they get an equaliser? See Zagalco's name now, and Totti and Robin. Let's slow it down at 2-1, 15 minutes to go. And it's Robin, but Barthez does well, looking to up his rating, that's for sure. Into the final 10 minutes, and it's Bern coming forward again. And it's Zagalco, but an excellent tackle by Anderson, and Lizarazu, Barthez with the save. And now Loco trying to come forward. Figo picks it up. Figo's fouled, and Vieira's being called over, just a warning. But free kick comes to nothing. 5 minutes plus injury time to go now. And Montella picks it up. He wins himself free kick, 4 minutes being added on. Will there be some injury time action this time? Oh, last kick of the game? No. And up the other end, Bern to wrap it up. He beats Montella. Excellent tackle. There's the full-time whistle. Northern Bern run out 2-1 winners. They dominated the shots on goal, but it was one of them where you just felt Loco were going to snatch it at the end. Congratulations to Northern Bern there. Jens Burnside is a joke. Some excellent ratings there. Cannavaro rating a 9. Robin, though, getting man of the match for his performance. It was a very good all-round team performance from Bern, but they did have to be resolute. Loco certainly did not want to be out of that game. Very enjoyable match to watch throughout. Bartes' second half performance far superior to what he put in the first half. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Ian. I can imagine you did feel a bit nervy knowing how you react to watching these games. Not a terrible performance by Loco. Everyone with title aspirations best hope Keane and Vieira pick up hundreds of cards before the playoffs. Duggan's saying that they're probably one of, if not the best, Super League 11s, front to back. Very true. And that brings us to our final game of the evening. Mr. Mega Horse, I hope this is late enough for you. 11:30. I would like to think it is. Thank you everyone for staying with us till the end. I appreciate that I have started late and it is just me talking, which is probably very boring for you to listen to. But it has been an entertaining evening, so let's hope this last game maintains that level of excitement and enthusiasm. This is the team that Ledesford have put out. Ronaldinho and Nicky Franco supporting Van Nistelrooy. Steve White saying Perry Bin sickens him. Petkov moves into central midfield. A gaff after all the conversation about him last time out and where he was positioned for the 2-0 defeat at Bern. He only gets a place on the bench. You know what? I'm actually hoping this one ends 2-2. The amount of Super League games that end 2-2, to not have one tonight would almost seem disrespectful. They had 2 absentees to worry about. Castillo's on international duty while Patsazoglu is suspended. Predictions already coming in. 0-2 Leds, 2-2, 0-1, 1-3. That's before anyone even sees the Sloths team confirmed. I will just try and scroll back because Rob did have to go very early, but he did ask about Zlatan coming on. No, it doesn't go that far back, sadly. I know he wanted Zlatan on at halftime, but I can't remember what the permutations were for that to happen. If someone can remember... Oh, he's still here. Hi, Rob, who's predicted 1-4. This is the team, Raul and D'Alessandro supporting Mantouras. The defensive midfield is the interesting one for me. Desai's back in support Sindai with Simeone just in front. That's either very strong or a red card waiting to happen. Materazzi and Gamara behind them. Let's kick off the final match of game week 2 and see what happens. Early yellow card given out by Eugene Are we going with Brazil? And Mantouras on 26 minutes does give the home side the lead. What have Ledesford got in the locker now? A lot of pressure on them. People are understanding of the game week 1 defeat to Bern, especially having 10 men. But one of the title favourites can't really be throwing away results too early in the season. But Sloth's trying to get a second, and Materazzi there from the set piece, almost doubling the lead. It is half time, and Sloth's definitely the dominant side at home to Ledesford. Again, plenty more shots on goal. Ledesford not having any on target. Sloths completing their passing, winning their tackles, winning the headers. And that's reflected in very favourable ratings for the players. No one will be surprised to see the 9 at the very bottom of the list there. It's just one of those things. The sun shines, he gets 9s. Rob already with a nice quick as is. So we fire it over to Mr. Megahorse. Van Nistelrooy, not exactly putting in a shift for the away team up front. Just looking through the ratings there as well. Proper Sloss performance, red card incoming. Kivu's been given the armband. Is the weight of expectation weighing heavily on him? Only rating a 6 as well. Paredes normally expects better. Nicky Forenko is the big talking point. Could Dan be the man to get anything out of him? The very early indication is no. Nicky off, Rude back, Constantinu on. We are going like this. Let's kick off the second half and see if the substitute makes a difference. Sloths with the first chance of the half and the second chance and the third chance. They trying desperately to double their lead. Are they going to rue these missed opportunities as we approach the hour mark? Constantinu's name, and it is 1-1, and it is Constantinu, the substitute. This is why the manager is paid the big money. This is why the board went out and got him when they needed a new boss for decisions like this that can turn a game. And here they come again. Alex was offside. Indirect free kick to Sloths, and Simeone from 30 yards out. Still Simeone. And we move into the final 10 minutes. We need two more goals in this game so that we get a 2-2 in game week 2. Indirect free kick. Raul takes it, but Sloths can't force it over the line. And here come Leddersford and Addo. Van Nistelrooy is saved, but he lets it run free. Materazzi clears it. Plenty of action in this final 10 minutes, but neither side able to force the ball over the line. There's Raul, and Montoris was offside. And we go into injury time. And have we got late drama in the final game? Constantinu, Van Nistelrooy. Free kick to Leddersford. Petkov. Etsabaria. In injury time, Etsabaria's won it. Surely the winning goal. And Sloths can only kick off before Brazil blows the full-time whistle. Etsabaria in injury time gives Leddersford the win. Look at the shots by Sloths. Unbelievable. And Leddersford. Leddersford have won it. The reaction in the, I'd love to know, Dan, have you sent well played Rob before that goal's gone in? Wow. Or are you just taking the piss? Tato, oh my word, Mike Savage, yes, what a winner. Duggan with wow, one's surely off the training ground. Even Tato saying that's harsh. Wow, we've had unbelievable. Yeah, Dan confirming he said on 89 minutes and Rob just absolute horseshit. Let's have a look at the Sloths. It was a very good performance from Sloths, and they can feel very, very hard done by. If ever there was a game to signify how Newcastle fans will be feeling tonight, I think this is it from Sloths, because that's unbelievable that Leddersford have won it in those circumstances. We didn't get the 2-2. We did get 2-1. Etsabaria, the match winner, picking up man of the match. And again, I think something that Duggan said earlier in the chat, Constantinu continues to be one of the most underrated players in the Super League, despite always picking up always picking up important goals, which are earning important points. Congratulations to fucking cram that up your fucking pipeline. Rob is not happy. Not happy at all. But we did, after so many games had absolutely no action in injury time, the very last injury time of the very last game of the night gives us a winner. And there are the full-time classified results. Bostock Stanley 1, Astor 3, Churchtown 1, Dragons 0, Dudley 2, Gazelles 3, Halls 1, Fulchester 0, Northern Bern 2, Loco Boston 1, Sloths 1, Leddersford 2, and Devils 0, Haggis 3. Quick look at the league table. Northern Bern, the only team to win 2 from 2, but Astor, Gazelles, Hulls all remain unbeaten. Correct, Duggan, no draws at all. And as we scroll down, Dragons and Loco, the only sides yet to get off the mark, and you can add Sloths in as the only other side not to yet register a win. Yeah, yes, I question whether the responsibility was weighing on Kivu. What exactly do I know? I look ahead to the next round of fixtures, which, if I can remember the conversation correctly, because you have got to get your champ fix, you have got a round of Swemp in between this and the next game. I believe we've said it's the 30th. We are playing this round of fixtures. And you never know. There's been various talk, as you guys will all know, because you're all in there anyway. We may mix things up and throw in a breakfast game at some point as well, just for lols. But let's stick with the schedule as we have it at the moment. It'll be the 30th and the 2nd. So these games will be played on the 30th, and some interesting fixtures there. And we are only 2 games in, but I know some of you will want to see this. So average rating, Haggis leading the way, top 2 players there. Class, we go again on the 30th. We do indeed, Tato. Let's have a look. Louis Saha, top of the goal scorers list. Luca Toni there just behind. Will they be the top 2 come the end of the season? We're looking at assists. Shevchenko there with 3. Tomadira and Roy Keane both with 2. What else do we want to see after just 2 games? Sorochinsky with 3 yellow cards. Red cards. Few red cards considering we're only 2 games in. I know people like Tato and Dan, they love these sort of stats. Let's have a quick look. Jens Jeremy's 14.5 tackles per game. Unreal stats. Dribbles per game. Rayed and Zauri leading the way. Shots on target. Only Luca Toni on the list. Packs, etc. will be out tomorrow. I have a child-free day tomorrow, so the plan should all go accordingly. Is I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to go and meet baby Smuts, and then I will come home and I will do everyone's packs for them. I will try and do the fixture thing, which Dimble sent me a very handy idiot's guide to doing this sort of shit for you as well, so you should hopefully get your full fixture list as well. And if there's anything else you want, I know, for example, Ian, who's still working on his out of league signings, asked me for another screenshot. Anything else you want, you might as well send me in the next sort of 12 hours, and I will try and get it all done tomorrow for you while I'm child free. That's it. Game week 2 is over. Thank you very much. Apologies again. Apologies again for the late start, but as I say, it's not every day I get invited out, so I thought I'd take the opportunity. Thank you for sticking with me for the whole night. Apologies that you've had to listen to me on my own again for the whole show, but I think the action has spoken for itself. You didn't really need me. I could have done this on mute, because once again, the Super League delivers and proves why it is, without question, the greatest content on the World Wide Web. From Super League HQ until the 30th. Good night.